My topic today is the online travel agencies. Very good third quarter. Digging through the trends, really three key themes stood out in the quarter and really helped shape the results that we saw. First, we had very significant transaction volume acceleration. Second, we saw compression in the revenue margin. Third, we saw ad efficiency in the channel. Big picture here, you saw online travel agency bookings up by 10% in the quarter. Exceptionally strong performance. We had been expecting to see growth of around 3%. The interesting thing here is that 10% compares to an 18% decline in airline passenger revenue, 14% decline in hotel room revenue. The clear implication of that is we're seeing channel shift. We're seeing share shifting towards the online travel agencies, a consistent theme we've seen over the last couple of quarters. Against that 10% bookings growth, we saw about 6% growth in revenue. Obviously didn't grow as fast, and the key differential here is we saw compression in the revenue margin. Revenue margins, the amount of dollars the online travel agencies keep as a percentage of bookings, came down by around 50 basis points, a bit bigger than what we had expected to see. We had been modeling about a 10% compression in margin. Incrementally, the online travel agencies cut booking fees throughout the quarter, and that's what led to that shortfall. Probably the most important theme for the online travel agencies was a reduction in advertising expenditure. So you saw that acceleration in transaction volume, and you got that despite having cut your advertising expenses by about 5% in the quarter. As a percentage of revenue, advertising came down from around 29% to 26% in the quarter. The net result of all of this is you had bookings up by 10%, revenue up by 6%, and operating profits were up by 25%. Now keep in mind, this came in one of the worst travel environments we've seen since World War II, so particularly impressive. As you break it down by group, or as you break it down within the group, we saw Priceline continued to be the share gainer. Bookings on a global basis were up 33%. That compared to about a 9% increase for Expedia and a decline of 6% for Orbitz. I think the key differentials within the group, as you look at Priceline, better geographic mix, more heavily weighted towards Europe where we're seeing faster growth, more exposure to the hotel category where penetration is still low, and finally, just product differentiation through marketing. I think they're a better marketing company. Expedia did very well too, didn't quite have the scale of growth we saw at Priceline. Orbitz and Travelocity were really the laggards in the quarter. As we kind of synthesize all this and see what it means for our forecast for this space, we're now looking for OTA bookings to be up by 2% in 2009, about 14% for 2010.